Welcome back to Reap Your Roots channel. Today, two light workers, two bringers of heaven to earth in ourselves and to the world, community builders, me and my buddy Trevor here, talking about how to bring heaven to earth.
Yeah, what does heaven on earth really look like? And, is it something, I've been told my whole life that there will be a moment where it'll be very clear that there'll be a great distinction between the old world and the new world. And over my, life of, just learning, I've really started to feel that, we are the ones that are creating that and, making that path forward to where we actually can create paradise on earth. And, maybe, we were talking earlier about how, we do kind of believe that our souls live on forever. So we kind of already got the live forever part.
The immortality part,
the immortality key.
Yeah.
But, what does it really look like to live a life of total happiness and, where we're healthy and, we're not stressed about things, or maybe, maybe we're stressed, but maybe we're happy that we're stressed about it.
Yeah.
And we're grateful that we can experience that. And, what does it look like for us to build that for ourselves, to then bring in more people and show them a way of living that can really be fun and
can be heaven
on earth.
Yeah. Instead of putting it out into the future or into, like, being raised Mormon, it's called the second coming. You were saying, what's it called for Jehovah's Witness?
They just believe, like Armageddon,
the rapture. A lot of our upbringing has been like these scripts of like, we're here to suffer. We're here to be in a world of evil. We're inherently evil. We're inherently deficient. And we will just continue on that path until Savior comes back. All the ones that don't accept him burn. Good, right? And all the ones that do accept him will get elevated. In the Mormon tradition, it's like literally the whole world becomes renewed or rebirthed, and people that don't get lifted up or saved are the ones that are not necessarily Mormon, but all the good people get raised and all the bad people die. And then all the good people have a chance to accept the gospel as they interpret it. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is that paradigm is, at least for us, and what was actually applicable in our day and age and in our lives, is like outdated. Like, if we just constantly are affirming like we live in suffering, we live in an evil world, we're all inherently evil, this flesh, and these are like deep imprints that we've inherited for generations, that actually isn't the message of Christ or of Buddha nature or of like all of these spiritual goats came into these systems of hierarchy and middlemen to God and a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. And then they pretty much said the exact opposite. Jesus to the Sadducees and Pharisees, Buddha to the Hindu like saints and the rituals that were like the Vedas were super exact same scenario where he left and he was like, no, this is available to everybody. But the caveat is we have to do it. Like, there can be, and this is my belief, there can be ascended masters that are further along than we are, and they can be our savior in the sense that like they are showing us the way, pointing us the way, but they're asking us to follow them. They're asking us to actually self-realize or to come into right thought and right feeling and right action and come together in communities. And I think for New Earth, or for like, heaven to earth, that has to happen. We have to follow these spiritual teachings, but really understand the message of it, that it's like the time is right now for us to evolve and to bring this heaven down into earth. But
yeah, not waiting for someone to save you and save yourself and realize that you are that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The imprints of shame and guilt, and like we are deficient. In your life, I guess, just have you seen that? I like the stories you've shared with me about like the rebel, like kind of that's rebellious to a lot of like your religion or your upbringing. How did you see that actually serve you in your path?
I mean, I feel like it was almost like a streamlined version of like testing myself and challenging myself.
Yeah.
Whereas like instead of just being really agreeable, even from a young age, I just didn't want to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
Which, I want my kids to listen to me. So, I want to, I'm not
So now you're going to eat your words.
But, at the same time, it really did show me, I feel like it showed me a lot of things at a young age that really helped me get through. I mean, because everyone's life is so unique too. Like, everyone's path is their own. And my path was to, just figure it out in a way that made sense to me. And maybe that was why I did it, but it wasn't consciously why I did it. I did it because I was, I was thinking about this earlier. Like one question when I was a kid that would always keep me up at night was just like, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, like if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, like when you die, you just die, and that's the end of it. And
like just delete?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I would sit there and I would think about that, and it just didn't make sense to me. I just didn't believe it. It just was not true.
Yeah.
And
feel right.
Yeah. Because I really do think that we are, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this other than just, I think the whole point isn't to listen to what somebody else thinks is good and bad. It's to actually figure that out for yourself. Like, I did a lot of drinking when I was young. I did a lot of things that weren't that good for my health and was gluttonous and all of those things. Like that was really what I realized wasn't good for me. And I think the core of what's good is the same for everyone. And it's to take care of your body, which then in turn shows you more of like then you get into your emotions, then you get into, spiritual sides of things. Like it all comes back to the body and how you treat your body. And that's my mission, is really to show people that.
Yeah. And that understanding of that mind, body, and soul are one. Like you really, if you're not taking care of your body, but you're, studying, taking care of your mental or your emotional world, therapy or spiritual, you're like spiritually walking, but you're not taking care of your body, you're missing something. You've got a blind spot there. And I really like the point of like through your experiences, you were able to learn that experientially. It wasn't like your parents told you or someone take care of your body. It was like you experienced not taking care of your body, the gluttonous, and then you experienced taking care of it. And you're like, oh, this is actually like
way better,
heaven versus hell,
Yeah.
And I think it goes the same even with like a lot of the work that I do with mental health and emotional, like, oh, when I just suppress, numb or whatever, this is actually hell, underlying shadow aspects of, my psyche versus like coming into true authenticity and feeling everything and like going through those portals and really working on also the mental fortitude and the emotional resilience. That's heaven. And that we really have the ability to establish that heaven on earth, which is the biggest thing that you said for me is spiritual sovereignty. Like you're not just taking what other people are saying or imprints or conditioning or programming. You are becoming spiritually sovereign. And I think that's a key marker of like bringing heaven to earth and ascension is I am spiritually sovereign. And even if you believe what you believed when you were raised, you're still spiritually sovereign because you're choosing it. Mm-hmm. You're not outsourcing to anybody else. And it takes an opening of the mind and the heart to be able to actually experience other things for you to then experientially learn, like, oh, I'm spiritually sovereign. Mm-hmm. One belief that's I've seen like really talked about nowadays is the 2 timeline theory about the new earth and old earth, that there's going to be 5D consciousness, then there's going to be 3D, and that we're all going to be on this earth, but that in 5D, it's like you're taking care of your body and your mind and your spirit. And then in 3D, you're, stuck in fear, stuck in conformity, just being trapped, not finding that
news.
Yeah, not finding that spiritual sovereignty, and just like feeding yourself like whatever serves your ego and cements your beliefs and closes your heart and closes you off from others, and greed and all these things that we're seeing in the world. How do you what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I think we're already seeing it.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of craziness happening mm-hmm. in the world right now. And I think less people are closing their eyes to it. I think it's an awakening right now. And, there's a lot of people that weren't aware of things like, you can look at any specific thing you want, whether it's war, whether it's government, whether it's news, whether it's our food, our water, our money system, all of it's being shown in a new light of like, mm-hmm. wow, whether good or bad, it's like, whoa, like something's got to give here. Yeah. And
it's like shocking.
Yeah. And that's even in the last 4 years, that has amplified 100-fold. Mm-hmm. Even with aliens and extraterrestrial life, like I've always been a bit of a believer, just, personally. And now that's like mainstream.
Yeah.
Like
the
culture.
CIAs are talking about it. Like they're talking about it in court cases.
Exactly. Yeah. So think about, like, we don't even know what's on the other side of this horizon that we're on. And I think it's really a choice. And I, for one, don't want to live in fear. And I want people to be able to have the choice to live a life that they really enjoy. And I believe in abundance. And I think the earth is more than capable of holding all of us, and that we have everything we need when we need to continue to look the things in the face that aren't serving us and rise up against it, which everyone has their own aspect of that they get to work with. And like for me, it's food and food security and, what we put in our body, and even like sexual health and men's work, like those are the things that light me up. But other people are protesting war, and, sure, we all need to be aware of all the different facets, but we also need to all step up for the things that, we're really passionate about, and be able to explain that in a good way to people.
Yeah, and I think this is a controversial belief I have, but I think the more light we can capture, the more we can emanate, right? The more our focus, our energy, our attention is getting sent out to like positive, uplifting causes, the more, or purposes, like you said, like everyone has their own individual purpose, the more it's going to grow. And a lot of the times, like, this is just my belief, but a lot of the othering of like protesting, like even just recently, was like no kings, or a lot of the, these people are bad, or these people are bad. I get, and this is why it's so controversial, because there's real people who are pained by it. But me, from where I'm sitting here, I'm not doing the service really to anybody by just like ruminating in all of the anger, the resentment, and the opposing of the opposing side. And that is so hard for humans to grasp, because we want to be pissed off, and we have a right to be.
Yep.
But in all of we were talking about the different ideologies, like with the Armageddon or the second coming or the 3D versus 5D, all of it is verses in our human mind. But I don't think even the people that preach like, oh, we just all need to get to 5D, and the 3D people, they're going to be like trapped in a war-torn society and famine. And, you know, us 5D people are going to get together and be in these communities separate from them. I don't even like that messaging, really. Like, my idea of 5D, like if you're really going into fifth dimensional consciousness and communities, is you're not just sitting up in a paradise while everybody else is in hell. You're going down into and bringing your light. The more light that you've captured, the more you can bring down into the 3D, because it's like nobody makes it until we all make it.
Yeah, there's only one team.
Yeah, there's only one team, and nobody makes it till we all make it. Even the worst enemy, you know, that's killing others. And I know that's like sounds like such a privileged thing to say, but it's really on a deep, like, spiritual level is where I'm looking at things, and a consciousness level is like what I give my attention to is going to grow, going to feed. You know, energy sent out is going to just amplify wherever I'm sending it. So how can I pay attention to these things and be aware, but how can I do it in a way where I'm truly bringing like a grounded, emotionally clear and clean presence to it? And with so much noise in the world, it's hard. It's hard to be on social media and doom scrolling and watching the news. And it's hard to not just like for that just to be contagious, and you just to adopt whatever consciousness you agree with in the debates and in the sides and in the verses. Whereas I think really how this new earth or heaven and earth is going to start is we awaken, we really get to this state of like Jesus or Buddha, which is blasphemous, right? But they said, follow me in every aspect, that's a whole other conversation. The one aspect I just thought of is he took Peter, James, and John to the Mountain Transfiguration and showed them his luminous light body. Like, he didn't do that as a magic show. He wasn't like, guys, look what I can do, and then just like turned on his light body. He showed them because he wanted them and all of us to be able to come into this kind of consciousness. And a random side note, but what I'm saying is we all get there, and then we form communities where we're all like doing it now together, which makes it hard because everyone has different beliefs and different human discord, but we really like support each other, and with the love come together into that unity. And then it doesn't stop there. The tale of the Bodhisattva, which is the person that has attained nirvana or Buddha nature, but she decided to go back down to earth. She decided to reincarnate to be a Bodhisattva and forget everything, forget their enlightenment, just so that they could try to learn it again as a human through the veil and bring other people with them. And that's essentially what I think we all need to become. We all need to become Bodhisattvas. Need to ascend and then be like, hey, I'm going back in. Like, I'm going to 3D consciousness. Even if it's the rapture, you know, we go up into heaven, I'm not content with just like, oh, all these souls though get deleted, or all these souls are going to be trapped in an inferno for eternity, or even a lower kingdom. That's what it is in Mormonism, is it's like they did kind of good. They still get saved, but they don't really get saved. He like created a new structure for it. Which is actually backed in some doctrine that I can see and that I believe of, like, you can only be in a place that you can tolerate as much light. But I don't think it's finite. I don't think it's judgment day. Just my thoughts. We got to go down and then pull people up.
Definitely.
They got to choose. And to play on what we're talking about, that's maybe what we're in right now. Like we're in the heaven, we're creating heaven on earth. It's the only way.
Yeah. And I mean, even, like the people that are stuck in the negative spiral of, hating others.
Yeah.
A lot of them feel that way because of things that they've been told by others. A lot of them haven't actually experienced it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say it's not true, but you really shouldn't, you should be weary of trusting anything you hear and even see in this day and age with AI and things like that.
Yeah.
Where I think it's important to really just focus on what is true for you and what you experience.
Yeah, true.
And like, of course, wanting to help other people, and we don't want people to suffer, but is talking shit about people and hating people gonna be the way to get through that? I don't think so.
Yeah, a lot of people use it as like, no, that's actually how I wake people up, is I talk shit on others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, you wake them up to what? To hating others, right? Like by the fruits, you'll know what's going on. And I think that it's controversial because there is a lot of messed up things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there needs to be action taken to to alleviate the suffering. But I really like Man's Search for Meaning, that book. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's like
heard of it.
Something that I should actually probably reread now that I'm thinking about this, because it's a physician that is trapped in a concentration camp, and he realizes he's there, his wife, his daughter separated, probably killed, he never finds them. So he treats this as like a huge experiment to try to see what prisoners make it within Auschwitz. And the ones that really are so bent on the like injustices of the Nazis end up getting sick and end up dying at like an incredible rate compared to the ones that are in the same experience, separated from their families, torture, labor, all this. But the ones that are like, I'm just going to focus on what I control, and I can control if I like the suffering I'm adding to my own mind, right? If I'm holding on to hatred or to anger or to these things, then I'm amplifying my suffering. I'm in this situation, so I'm just going to be in this situation, and I'm going to exactly what Christ taught, right? I'm going to turn the other cheek, or return love from hate. They're getting hate, they're returning it with love, which is like unthinkable. But Viktor Frankl, who's a guy in the book, is like, he's such a master in the deepest like studies and also practice that he teaches in that book is like true spiritual sovereignty. Like nobody can take away my ability to choose my inner state. And I think that's, with all the tensions and the sides, that's what we're coming into. Like that's the point of a lot of it. The higher purpose of a lot of it is for us to find that balance of like, yes, there's injustice, and yes, I don't have to continue to fan these flames. There's a story of the Buddha. You get hit with 2 arrows with every trial. The first arrow is the pain of the thing that happens. You see something, it triggers you, it's painful. Or something happens to you, it triggers you, it's painful. But the second arrow, and it's the arrow that actually can kill, is the suffering, and that's your meaning of what this means and what you choose to ruminate in and hold on to, which, I think it's a huge paradigm shift, like even for me, but it's the one that I'm trying to make in really coming into this place of true grounded leadership that all of the spiritual masters, and I think ascended masters right now, are actually working with us. Like, I think Spirit of Yeshua has swept across the globe, especially with Charlie Kirk's death. I think the spirit of Gautama Buddha is huge and has always been huge, and is growing even a lot in America. Like, all of these ascended masters are actively working in our hearts and helping us, enabling us with grace to reach these like true states. All it takes is our acceptance of like, okay, yeah, I can be a leader like that. Like I don't have to be trapped in this human Maya and these triggers,
What you're reminding me of too is, you get hit with that first arrow and then the second arrow comes too. Well, that's why not even just meditation, but meditation is a way to do this where you can actually look at it and let it go. And it also is more about being in the present moment of like, okay, that happened, but what's happening right now is I'm with my children and I'm happy. Or I'm reading a book, I'm listening to music and I'm playing music and I'm happy right now.
Yeah.
The more that you keep replaying it in your head, like when it comes to replay and you're like, oh, that hurt, like the heartbreak of it, or the thing that someone did to you, it's hard. It's not easy to do, but you need to physically accept it and just wipe. Like you can't hold on to the past. You need to be either in the present. I mean, really, you just need to be in the present.
That's the whole.
You can plan. You can think about the future and how you might want to work through it. But it's been such an important thing for me right now that I've been learning. And I've never been big into meditation. I've always just told myself that I'm always meditating and that's just my game. And true to an extent. But, when I'm really challenged and I'm really like, things are being thrown at me, by others, and I'm like choosing to hold on to them and replay a story, like your brain is a computer. And if you keep playing that story, that's what your computer is set to, is to making more of that. Like you give your brain the information and it's going to be working to reach that goal. So if you're caught up on a story of being in love and they cheat on you and you're just constantly ruminating on that, the chances is that you're going to keep replaying that story because you're going to keep seeking that. Because that's your brain is just listening to what you're telling it. So, and same with people who are protesting and, you're going to keep doing that, or do you want to eventually focus on yourself?
Or focus on even just like the positives or the hopeful things within the situations. Like it's just kind of a weird thing to, when you say meditation, you can think of it as prayer as well, to kneel down and be like, I pray that Donald Trump will get shot in the head and that everyone in his cabinet will all drown. And like, it's hard to come to God and like talk to him like that. But it is easier to pray for your enemies and pray for even the stuff that's happening globally in more of that sense, because you're sending energy, you're still being aware of it, but you're sending energy to it that's positive, right? It's not like, I pray that this bad things happen to your children because they're not walking the path. It doesn't matter if they're walking the path or not. Like, it's not our responsibility to hold on to that. It's not ours. It's really not. It's noise. And so to be able to drop it, and you said it is hard, and that's also a belief too. Maybe it's easy to let stuff go. Maybe it's literally just like dropping it. Maybe it's fully like looking at it and looking at like, why is this so triggering for me? And then it's just like, drop it. And then bringing your attention and your awareness and your energy to things that really do serve yourself and by extension, all of humanity, which I think is really important, and like a disclaimer too. Like, all of these lessons we're talking about are just things that we're trying to figure out and we're trying to learn. People are doing exactly what they think and they feel they should do, and that's what you should do. But I've just found so much peace in my personal life and so much power as well, and feeling like I actually can even affect in some positive way the things that are going on around me, by me working on my own self and my own consciousness and coming to a state of peace and love and joy. And, elevating through meditation and embodiment and presence to that area where I really can just like emanate it out and send it out. And I think that's what Jesus did with his life when he came down. He created a pillar of consciousness that raised the planetary consciousness, that changed the whole planetary grid. And there's a lot of other people who have done this. But he did it in such a global way. And then what the human side of us, the discordant side of us does is they take that pillar and they start to warp it and distort it in their perceptions and their belief systems and their verses. And then you see the Crusades happen and killing natives. And you also see people that are like, there's just on both sides. There's just all sides of it. And there's such a disconnection from the essence of it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, on a macro scale,
yeah,
it's either all God or it's not God. And so even when it comes to like people that have done terrible things, in my opinion, that was still God. And that doesn't need to be a bad thing. That, to me, there's just no other way. Because I think it's all, like, the way that I think about it in my head is there was nothing, and then there was something, and everything that exists came from that something. Yeah. And call it God, call it whatever you want. I like using the word God. And it doesn't mean that, it just means that in a world of infinite possibilities, that's what we're living in. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a choice for us to look at, what's happened and choose to move forward. Yeah. And, it's like not living in it forever, not just always hanging on to the terrible thing that happened. And it's just like what we're talking about with, letting go of things that are hurting us, the second arrow. It's like the same thing on the macro where, all of these terrible things did happen. Like Auschwitz did happen. People are at war right now. Well, what does it take to get through that? At some point, there needs to be forgiveness and moving on. We don't need to kill more people to prove a point. Yeah. At some point, we have to look at it, name it. They need to look at it and name it. And we all need to agree on something that is more life affirming. Yeah. Which, to me, boils down to living a healthy life. Yeah. And taking care of yourself on all levels. Yeah. And then the unity aspect. So taking care of yourself on all levels, whether it's individual or macro, micro or macro, so that you're actually living in the state of peace, health, vitality, but then also the unity. And that's what, one thing that I think is dependent, like no one's getting saved by themselves. Mm-hmm. It really does have to be a unity thing, because something will happen on the global scale and then you see everyone react and it's like, and it's so much noise and more division and more hatred and more like, I'm lost, Whereas if we just took it, absorbed it, presenced it, and we were just like, okay, yeah, that's heavy, or yeah, okay, let's sit with it and be with it, like truly in our feminine being and residing in that feminine. And then we go and we practice the masculine, the problem solving and all the things together. So, and I think once there's enough people that are about that, the ones that are on 3D or trapped in fear or whatever, it's like there'll be enough people that are on fifth dimensional consciousness. They'll be like, we can explain it. Well, yeah, why are we, they'll almost feel like kind of left out. They're like, why are we still causing wars here or divided or thinking about sides? Yeah. Like, why are we not unified with everybody? Oh, okay. Well, because there'll be so much that are on that level, and we'll be like having dinner with aliens and stuff. So you brought in aliens. I saw this meme. Last thing I'll share is this meme, bro. It was so good. I should have started with this of like, it's a dad talking to his kid and his kid's going to sleep. And he's like, it's like normal parents. It's okay, sweetie. Aliens aren't real. They can't get you.
And then it says me as a parent. And it's this guy that's like, they're actually interdimensional beings and they already live among us. If they're contacting you, let me know what they're saying. I really related to it so much. I was like, might as well not hide them.
The kids already know.
Yeah, they are.
Kids are already aware.
Bro, that's the thing we should end on is we're doing all this work, all this purging, all this cleansing, all this contraction is what it feels like for them. Mm-hmm. Like really the children of this age are golden children. Like they are the answer. And we just need to get clear and do this work for ourselves, yes, but really it's for them. It's so that we can have a clean earth. And
we can be like children.
Yes. Yeah. Someone said that one time. Yeah. We can become like them and we can follow them as our elders and as these golden children. They really are ushering in a new way of living. Mm-hmm. And I've had so many experiences, deep spiritual experiences with my girls. I know you have too. Even you just explained how Forrest like knew when Phoenix was coming, like before y'all did. And it's just, I have a lot of experiences like that too, where I'm like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
who told you that?
Who told you that? And then I'll catch my daughter just like singing to the earth outside. She'll just be like, I love the earth. I love Jesus. I love Mary. And I'm like, that's not a song she's ever heard. Like, why is she singing about the flowers and the earth and taking care of it? And they're
making her own song.
Yeah. We just got to tune in with that, in with that, those golden children. But
doing it for the children.
Yeah, the golden children. This, because of our time, short pod, but we're going to be filming a lot more.
Yep.
Talking about kingdom builders in the health and the wellness, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. As far as the physical and the nutrition and the supplements,
check out Warriors in the Garden. Reach out to me if you have any questions and want to work together. We're always growing and building, so let's have some fun.
Yeah, and then Reap Your Roots is more the ancestral work, and then the men's work, Deep Roots Brotherhood, which we're both leading and a part of, just with the mental, emotional, and spiritual side as well, and union side with our partners and with everybody. New Earth now, New Earth leadership.
Let's go.
Much love.
Peace.
Keep smiling.
Oh, yeah.